Hi, my name's Julia, and if you're new here, I was running a small business where I was making knitted hats, stamping with the planes, and then putting all of that funding into my flight training. But because my husband is United States Coast Guard, we just got moved unexpectedly to a remote island in Alaska. So that is why I haven't posted in about a year and a half. But along with everything else that goes with uprooting your entire life from the East Coast all the way to Alaska, which I don't mind. I was raised in Alaska, so I am familiar with the area and what it takes to live remotely in a small town. So that's not the biggest problem that I have. My biggest problem right now is I am taking a massive pay cut. If you've been with me, you know that I'm a commercial pilot and a certified flight instructor, and I cannot find a job for the life of me. And if anything, I know I love a pivot and that I'm more than capable of creating some kind of small business idea that is going to be beneficial for the community and the company of my neighbors around the area. So, number one, first idea was doing a cake pop stand that can sit out on the front porch with a lockbox, and it would all be Venmo established or honor system cash. So that is the first business idea that I have. Um, Unfortunately, even with it being a good idea, I still would have to order a lot of things from Amazon, and Amazon out here is super, super unreliable. And then Walmart online or Walmart store online is also seems like the next best option, but I do not think that they would ship out here. So, with that being said, I can do only so much with setting up that type of business. I can advertise through the Facebook pages, I can advertise through Instagram, and I can advertise um, pretty much Facebook Marketplace. But other than that, I'm going to see what it takes to pretty much uproot my whole life and then 180 go from knitted hats to some different idea. And if you have a better idea, please let me know down in the comments. Obviously, you're just kind of hearing me jimber jamble about what I've got going on, but yeah, so far, so good. Um, a little update on me. I work for a community foundation that is here on island, and it's been really fulfilling, but it is very, very part-time, and it only makes ends meet for pretty much the minimum payment of my flight training loan that I'm in debt for. The reason why I want to make this extra money is A, pay back my flight training loan, B, pay for flight training for my multi-engine instructor, and C, I'm going to go back for my master's because if I'm going to take a pause in life, I might as well get educated. So I want to go back for my master's, and it's an online program. Probably do it part-time because that's all I can afford. So those are the three things that I want. And then ultimately the fourth goal, and this would just be like otherworldly, hoping that if social media actually pays me well, because I am monetized on my aviation accounts. If you follow me on any of those, the name is Sasongasaurs, and I'm literally on all platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and what's the other one? Facebook. So I actually made about $50 last month on Facebook, and I'm clocked in to see that I'm going to make about $65 this month. So yeah, I mean, if you're here and you're coming along for the journey. You know that I really don't edit these videos because it's just me rambling about my life and kind of having a therapeutic chit chat with myself and organizing my thoughts and using my brain instead of thinking about the thought of using AI. But with all that being said, I'm just trying to figure out a roundabout way of getting one of these rolling ice chests shipped out here without it being 397.59, because the original price actually is $129 for an ice chest, and the savings is $65 because it used to be $194. But now they're doing a location surcharge for Walmart. Um, so that's probably not going to do it for me. That's $397 total when the whole cart itself should only be $129. So I'm going to have to figure out a different way to go about this. Probably YouTube Versity, to try and figure it out. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back to doing my community foundation work. I am super excited to say I am also part-time at the community college here. I just feel like I'm wearing so many different hats that I don't want to spread myself too thin, but I also want to do what's right for me. And I also started picking up shifts at the bakery here on island as well to make up for the lost money that pretty much I was making at the college, but now we're in summer, so I need to wait until the semester comes through. So with all that being said, we'll go through, we'll do a budget. I'm going to do an estimate of what it would take to get started. I want to do a test run. So I went ahead and actually got cake mix, some almond bark to dip the cake pops in, and then I also got ube mix, and I just thought that that would be a fun one just to try it out. I was also thinking about even putting because it's ube pan, it's like pancakes. I was thinking about even putting it in the waffle maker and then just making like ube sticks, and then you could dip them in ube condensed milk or like a syrup, but that's also for a later troubleshoot. Another thing that I thought about doing was the vendors, popping up at the vendor markets and doing fruit cups and then just pouring chocolate on top of fruit cups like strawberries, grapes, and stuff. Um, yeah, I'm just really trying to figure out a way to make an extra tidbit of income to pay for tuition and to pay back that flight training loan. But it's just one of those things where you really do kind of have to fork the money in and invest and then kind of full throttle it and really hunker down. I was just lucky enough with the hat building business or hat knitted business that I already had the loom and all I needed to do was get yarn. I really wanted to get back into that, but unfortunately, a lot of the bits that I was getting shipped on Amazon, they are not able to come here. So that was the only downside about trying to think about making hats. But other than that, I am going to find a way. And if you're here and you've stuck around, you know that I am always going to find a way no matter what. I just needed to take a break and reevaluate and be sure of myself, stepping back into wanting to be an entrepreneur and seeing what it would take to run a small business again. Um, Obviously, if you know me, you know I have aspirations of really getting into the aviation business world, and just being more than a pilot and running my own company or flight operation and seeing what it takes to actually own and operate an aircraft. So hopefully that's where this whole entire YouTube channel will actually lead, is the creation of a flight operation, either, who knows, here in Alaska or somewhere in the United States. So yeah, we'll see how long that takes, but for right now, I think I'm thinking about making cake pops, which is crazy because how far in the future all this seems, but how obtainable it could really be. Um, Especially with just the turnout that Facebook monetization has given me, and then also with me coming up on getting monetized on TikTok too. I'm starting to feel like there's a real world of untapped potential and really just kind of facilitating different facets of funds. A lot of words. But yeah, just facilitating as many outlets for funds right now and trying to generate passive income of a sort, which monetization honestly has kind of given me. So, yeah, I am going to go ahead and post this. No edits. If you're here, please let me know down in the comments what has been a successful small business for you. Please, no shipping or packaging businesses. That was another big reason why I wanted to put the hat knitting business on hold, was because actually a lot of the orders that came in, I was shipping out. And just with the shipping price here, I'm just going to call it quits on that. Because the hat price was not that much, and I'm not going to tack on a $30 shipping cost to get a box all the way off a remote island in Kodiak. Um, so yeah, let me know what works in a small town for you, and I really hope to keep making these videos and see how far I can get. Doing just small random jobs, gigs, businesses, and we'll see.